Hey folks, welcome back to our Dice Tower preview. I'm Mark, and today we're taking a look at Orion Spur. Orion Spur is brought to you by Fiero Initiative LLC. It's for 2 to 4 players, ages 14 and up, and games range anywhere from 30 to 60 minutes. Welcome, cadets. Today begins your induction into the proud family that is the Navy of the Terran Defense Force. We will see which of you has the gift to lead and who will be led. To determine who has the talents to become a captain, you will participate in our tactical combat simulator, Orion Spur. Each of you will be captains in charge of your own fleet and face one another in real-time combat. In addition to our own ships, you will also have a chance to command the fleets of our galactic neighbors and experience what it is like to think like a Hasuk, a Churup, or a Mushin. Prove yourselves competent enough, and one day you may sit in a captain's chair of your own. So your goal here is a simple one. You're trying to be the first to gain 10 victory points by destroying your opponent's starships, while avoiding having your ships destroyed. All right, let's jump in and take a closer look. So for setup, the first thing you're gonna do is separate all the cards. Each of the different races have their own set of ship cards and tactic cards. You'll separate these out and each player will pick. And then you're going to set up your fleet. Each player is going to start with 2 frigates, 1 destroyer, and 1 light cruiser. And you'll find the corresponding tokens for these different ships. You're going to be placing hull tokens, you're going to be placing energy tokens, and shield tokens on these ships in order for you to engage in battle with and spend energy to do all kinds of nasty things to your opponents. And then you'll take and draw 7 tactic cards and you're ready to battle it out. Now, quick note on your fleet deployment. There are going to be 2 rows with up to 5 ships in each row, and this will be how the battle group is formed. Now, you do have a flagship, and it's based on whichever ship has the most victory points associated with it. That will be your flagship, held in reserve. It might actually sit below those 2 rows in order to lead on or command the ship from a safe spot, because this will be the most sought after target for sure, because it's all about those victory points. And the ships up front are going to be the ones that to at least initially engage in battle. Now, before we jump in and look at what you do on your turn, the possible actions, let's take a closer look at a ship card. So these ship cards have several icons to take note of. In the top left, you have your species icon, along with the ship name. And then on the far right will dictate what tokens you're going to be placing on each ship. You have your shield, hull, and energy tokens. Then the bottom left is your recruitment cost when you bring out the ship. And then you have their ship's ability, if there are any, at the bottom of the card. These abilities are going to be all kinds of things and help you when you engage in battle. And then on the far right, on the bottom, is your victory points. This is what the ship is worth if it's destroyed. So on your turn, you have primary actions and you have secondary actions. And in general, you can play as many secondary actions as you would like. And these are generally played from the tactic cards in your hand. They do all kinds of different things. And you even have the option of playing a secondary action before you activate one of your 3 primary actions. And those available primary actions are a main attack, special ability, each race has their own special ability, and a regroup action. So let's take a look at this primary attack action. You'll be doing a fair amount of this for sure. Now you're looking for icons. You're looking for the attack or the reactionary attack icons. And you're looking through your tactic cards as well as at the bottom of your ship to see what types of weapons you might have available to attack with. Now remember, when you're attacking your opponent, you're attacking the front line of their fleet, unless your card says otherwise. Now, the big thing though is that you have to make sure you have the energy on hand for that ship in order to activate those weapons. So as a quick example, we're going to attack with the magnetic rifle, paying 2 energy to do so. Now, this rifle is unique. Usually when you do damage, you're attacking the player's shields first, and then any spillover from the shield is calculated into the hull. However, this is the magnetic rifle, and it will do damage to the shield and the hull at the same time. Super powerful. but your opponent has the ability to react to all your attacks. And when they do, they can potentially evade the whole thing altogether. And it goes back and forth this way. Engage, as long as you have the energy to pay, you can keep attacking and they can keep playing reaction cards. But in this case, we're playing a glancing shot, reducing the amount of damage done to the ship. So these skirmishes, these back and forths can go in many different directions. And again, as long as you have the energy to pay, you can keep attacking. And there's even a way to overcharge your ship. And if you do go that overcharge route, it will give you an extra point of energy, maybe helping you land that final blow to the enemy, but it will leave your ship vulnerable. And until you can recharge, that ship will then not be available to you to either attack or react or even use some of your special abilities. Now, if the card has an exception on it, well, then you follow the rules of the card. But in general, it really leaves your ship wide open. And throughout the battle, you're going to be calculating damage. You're going to be pulling shield tokens off, you're going to be pulling hull tokens off, and you as the attacker will be spending energy. Now, if you reduce the ship to 0, then it's destroyed. And the ship that is behind it will now be the front line. It doesn't actually move up to the front line until the player does a regroup option, but it is the next ship in line that can be attacked. And the ship that was destroyed, that card is collected, and those victory points are added to your total. Now you still have 2 other options that you might do instead of that primary attack. So again, with these primary actions, you can only do one of the 3. Next, let's take a look at special abilities. For all the different races, you have keywords that you may trigger instead of the primary attack. So things like bracing or suppressing fire or ramming speed. I always want to say that. And then you have flock. So these are going to do all kinds of different things. Bracing, for one, is going to allow you to spend energy in order to stave off any damage coming your way. And for the flock special ability, this allows your command ship to activate a ship with the flock keyword. And the command ship will have to spend 2 energy to do so, but you can activate another ship. Now, ramming is exactly what it sounds like. You're going to take the value of your hull of your ship, and as you ram into that ship, it's going to take that full damage, and you'll take half of that damage to your ship. So it truly is ramming speed. And suppressing fire, that keyword it'll allow you to spend all the energy from one ship in order to attack a ship in your opponent's fleet that is 1 row back. So as you can see, those special actions can really help you turn the tide of battle. Now, your third and final option for these primary actions is regrouping, and you'll be doing this a fair amount as well. You're gonna have to resupply your ships and perhaps bring out new ships, recruit. And you'll be getting recruitment tokens at the end of each of your turn. But here is a chance to spend them as one of your primary actions. You can bring out new ships, rearrange your fleet, and if you have overcharged ships, bring them back into the fleet so they're ready for the next round. And this is where you also have the option to resupply. If you're down and out for your tactic cards, this is where you draw back up to 7. And if you have any tactic cards that you're not fond of or don't need at this point, you can discard those and draw back up to 7. So as you can see, all these different actions really playing together, and how and when you may use them is really key. Now, all these secondary actions that you're going to be doing generally are those reactionary things, but there are other icons here. You get to do things like draw cards. You might get to resupply your shields with a tactic card, things like that. And there's a ton of different icons that are associated with all the different types of cards. And again, each of the species has their own set of very different tactic cards. So then at the end of your turn, after you've done all the things you're going to be doing, you will gain a recruitment token. Like we mentioned in the regroup phase, this is the tokens you need in order to grab more ships from your ship deck in order to deploy to your fleet. Now, again, at the bottom left corner of the ship will dictate how many recruitment tokens it requires in order to bring it out into the fleet. And always remember, the ship that has the most victory points will always be the lead, will be the flagship as you engage in battle. And so the game will go like this round after round, battling back and forth until one player has destroyed enough ships to gain those ever crucial 10 victory points and be one step closer to the next captain. All right, folks, just a reminder once again, this has been a Dice Tower paid preview. Everything you've seen here has been in prototype form. So keep a close eye on the campaign for any changes that still may occur. Now, with that said, this game truly has that nice back and forth, quick play, lots of actions, lots of reactions to the different attacks, and way more than we could go into here for this video, but it's definitely worth checking out. And you definitely get this sense that you're battling it out in this game. They did a nice job with the quick and easy play. Very easy to learn, but there's a lot of strategy and a lot to learn with the different types of tactic cards and how each of your different ships react in battle. All right, folks, but if this looks like something that would be of interest to you, I'm sure they'd appreciate your support. So I think that's it for me, and until next time, we'll see you at the table.
Thanks so much for watching another Dice Tower video. If you enjoy our videos, subscribe to the channel for more fun, comprehensive board game coverage. Also, consider joining us at one of our events. Come to Dice Tower Retreat, a small, intimate gathering where gaming is king. Join us for Dice Tower Cruise, the largest board game cruise. Attend Dice Tower West in Las Vegas for gaming fun on the West Coast, or Dice Tower East in Orlando in sunny Florida. Dice Tower Conventions, the friendliest gaming conventions on Earth. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.